Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about something. I don't know what yet. We'll figure that out as I go. I've got 15 minutes, 12, 13, something like that. 13 minutes and 39 seconds. So basically, what you're seeing is as a garbage fire, and no, what you're seeing is some sped up cleanup animation I was working on quite a while ago. Twitch had a animation contest with the theme of Game Over. So me and my buddy Michael Nana, mostly Michael Nana actually, animated a little short with that theme in mind. We did kind of a knockoff Pokemon sort of thing. He did all the like dope ass fucking like battle animation, super epic Sakuga looking shit, and then I did like it just kind of like zooms out and there's like these two kids playing their DSs or whatever, or whatever legally distinguishable handheld system they're playing. So anyway, I just recorded my screen while I was cleaning it up. Because I thought it might be a fun, like, speed paint type video or whatever to put on YouTube. So that's what this is. I don't have much to say about it. It's just cleanup. It takes a long time. This video is, 13 minutes? I think I said. It is sped up by 1,000. Like 1,000 times faster than what this actual video was. I'm not gonna do the math. It was hours though. You know what I mean? Hours of doing this bullshit. So anyway, yeah, it's just cleanup. It's a process that has to be done. Well, it doesn't have to be done, but depending on what you're working on. In this case, it did have to be done. Usually, in most cases, have to be done. But yeah, so that's just that's what I was working on. I hate cleanup. I can't stand it. I loathe it. I don't have anything good to say about it. I don't like it. I hate it. Welcome to Hell wasn't cleaned up because I didn't have time, but if I had had time, I would have hated it. Anyway, so yeah, I'll just let you guys kind of watch this while I talk about some other bullshit. God, we're 2 minutes in already. Almost 3 minutes in. And I haven't talked about anything yet. I think I decided I want to talk about getting into animation. Because a lot of times I get questions like, how did you know you wanted to do it? Or what made you decide to go into animation, or how do you know it's right for you, or whatever, any kind of question like that. And I guess for me, like, I always liked cartoons and I always liked to draw. When I was growing up, there was never any question in my mind that I was going to do anything other than art. I didn't know in what capacity. I don't know how you make money as an artist, especially back then or whatever. Like, the internet wasn't a thing when I was born. So, like, anyway, you just grow up and just always being the kind of token art kid or whatever. I was really into cartoons when I was younger. I kind of, as I grew a little older, got more into, I guess, manga and anime and more kind of like illustrative sort of stuff. And that was fun. And I spent like probably most of middle school and high school drawing these like really dramatic, pretty anime boys. Which, there's nothing wrong with at all. But I just kind of got bored with that right around the time I was about to graduate high school, and I decided to go to community college and tool around there for a few years. And in community college, I don't know, I just got bored. I thought I pushed my pretty anime boy style as far as I could go. It was starting to get to that like not realism, I guess naturalism thing where, like, you know what I mean, the eyes aren't like super big, it's kind of like realistic proportions or whatever, like more like human looking faces, and I was just getting super bored with that. And it was like, oh yeah, like what did I like to draw when I was a kid, and like when you had no inhibitions about drawing? And it was like, well, it was cartoons. It was just like, I mean, not that anime is not cartoons, but you know what I mean. It was more like just goofy, kind of fun, simple stuff that could move around if you wanted it to. And I discovered John Kay, I didn't discover him. He's the guy that created Ren and Stimpy, which is something I really liked as a kid. I discovered that he had a blog online where he talked a lot about animation and kind of tried to like impart his knowledge to anyone who would listen, and I thought that was really cool. I don't always agree with him on everything, but he's very, very knowledgeable of the subject. And so anyway, yeah, I read a lot of his blog, and he got me thinking again about like animation as a viable thing that I could do with myself. And anyway, yeah, so I was going to this community college, was taking some art classes there, but it's kind of a joke. Like, you know, none of the teachers really give you like proper critiques. They're just thrilled that there's like one kid in the class who's not just filling out an elective for a nursing major. Like, they're just happy that someone there actually likes art, and they kind of let you do whatever you want. But anyway, whatever. My community college experience is a rant for another day. So eventually we had this, there was a lady from the school I would eventually go to who came by for a portfolio review for the Kansas City Art Institute. And not to be confused with the Art Institute's chains, it is not part of that. It's a private college with an unfortunate name similarity. And anyway, yeah, I got a portfolio review from her, and I just threw some dumb old animation in there that I had made years ago, like my first attempt at like flash animation or whatever. I just put it in there because why the hell not? I didn't know at the time, I guess I should clarify, I didn't know at the time that I wanted to go into animation. They also had like an illustration department, and I thought, oh, that's really cool, maybe I'll do that, you know, or graphic design or something. And she was looking at my portfolio, and even though it was like this dumb animation that like wasn't even good, everything is wrong with it, like, she was just like, huh, are you sure you don't want to do animation? And I was like, yeah, I don't know, like, if you're encouraging me, maybe I do. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. She looked through my portfolio, and I put a lot of stuff in there that was like, that I thought was a good showcasing of my technical skills and abilities. And, you know, and some of that was like fan art or stuff I'd done for someone else. And then there was like some dumb thing I put in there that was just like a doodle of some of my characters. And she asked me, who are these? Like, who are these people? And I was like, oh, they're characters of mine. And she's just like, oh, tell me about them. And I'm like, what? Really? Like, why? You know what I mean? Just like, it really like kind of struck me that she asked about my characters. It was something I drew in fucking MS Paint too. Like, it was just like a doodle that I kind of put in there to fill it out or whatever. And she was like, yeah, well, you know, at this school, like, we're really interested in you developing your own ideas and you know, and that sort of thing. So you know, yeah, like, all this stuff is great, but, like, you do you know what I mean? So anyway, I kept in contact with her and you know, with the school, and I got a lot of informational stuff from them in the mail or whatever. It was not too far away from where I lived. It was on the other side of the state. So, you know, I took a tour of the place and whatever, and again, still not sure if I had wanted to do animation or illustration or graphic design or whatever, but I guess eventually I had decided that if I wanted to get a job in illustration or graphic design or comics or something, I could do that on my own, technically. There's no, like, education that I need on how to draw. You know, you can definitely get better, for sure, but, like, animation was something I would need to be taught. So I figured I'd go to school for animation so that I could actually learn it and broaden the likelihood of getting a job in art. So I got accepted, you know, and people sometimes ask, like, oh, how did you know you wanted to go into animation? And the honest answer is that I didn't. Not until I had already moved to another city and taken out a loan and paid for the tuition and was sitting in class the first day listening to my teacher give a lecture on it that's when I knew, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, but you learn pretty quickly whether or not it's the right thing for you. And what I learned while I was there was actually incredible. Like, not just, I mean, you know, the program was fine. I'm not speaking ill of the animation program or anything, but the real cool thing that happened while I was there, the really valuable thing, was all the people I met. Like, just finally being in an environment around other artists, and aspiring animators, and people that want to learn, and people that, like, specialize in things. Like, you don't always realize, like, maybe you specialize in something. And now it kind of seemed like, you know what I mean? It was just like people who all care about the same shit that you do, like character development and like how to write a story and all these things that I've like been interested in since I was a kid, and I didn't know like what the name was for it. Like, I want to make these stories about these characters, and I want it to be entertaining, and I want people to care about it, and whatever. I mean, that's not like exclusively what animation is. Animation can be all sorts of things, but like, you know what I mean? You're surrounded by these people who like also care about it in a similar way. And it was just really cool. Like, for once in my life, it was like I'd found my people, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not just like that weirdo that's really into cartoons. And even if you have like, you know, I knew people growing up, I can't speak, that were like, you know, into cartoons or into nerdy shit like I was, and that's fine. But it's like a lot of times it's kind of surface level. Like, you know, you'll be having a conversation with someone about a thing that you like, and, you know, but they don't necessarily want to talk about like the way it's constructed or written, or why it's important or relevant, or what makes it successful, you know, what makes it work, you know, like picking stuff apart and what makes it tick and whatever. And I finally found people that wanted to do that. So that was awesome. Like, we'd have these really deep, like, enlightening conversations about cartoons or whatever, and that was super cool. And yeah, I just remember like towards the end, wait, no, I'm totally lying. That was the wrong phrase to say. At the very beginning of junior year, I had transferred in as a sophomore, so I wasn't there as a freshman with everyone. You know, and I'd spent a year with these people or whatever, and sort of like made friends, and there's sort of like little cliques. Everyone sort of like, you know, groups off into parties that with similar interests, but everyone gets along, you know, it's no big deal. And like, I remember I have this really fond memory of like coming into class on the first day of junior year, and I was late as always. I'm always like a few minutes late everywhere I go, well, especially in college. But like, I walked into class, and like I said, I was probably the last person to walk in, so I don't know if everyone got this treatment or what. But when I opened the door and I saw all my classmates like sitting around in these chairs, like about to have this lecture, like they all looked at me and they were like, "Hey, Erica!" Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was really cool, like just walking in the door and being greeted by like the whole class turns around and they're happy to see you. You know what I mean? Like, that was really cool. Like, I've never been popular in my life, and I really don't care whether or not I am. That's never been an issue for me. But yeah, it was just kind of a neat experience to be like, oh, like these people, like I'm someone to these people. Like, maybe not, you know, not the way that like, I guess whatever the popular kids in school were or whatever. Like, it's not like a social stature sort of thing, but it's like, these people like me, and they're interested in what I'm doing and what I have to say and what I think. And like, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, you realize that you specialize in something, and not everyone specializes in something, and everyone has something to offer, and you surround yourself with these people that you can learn something from. And I don't know, I guess that was like a moment that sort of hit me like, oh, like I'm that to these people too. Like, we're all kind of that for each other. Like, you can, you know, motivate yourself by being around other like cool motivated people or whatever. So yeah, that was, I don't know, it was just a really cool sort of thing that always stuck with me. But yeah, so So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess the video's done and I'm still talking. And I can continue talking. I really could, but I don't think I will, because frankly, I don't need to. I don't need to be drawing this out as long as I am. And yet here I am doing it. So anyway, that's basically it. I'm going to try and get into the habit of posting more videos here, talking about stuff, making tutorials, whatever. I'm just going to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. I am working on more Welcome to Hell. That's just, going to come when it fucking comes. And I'll keep you guys updated on that too. I'll go ahead and make an official announcement about that. I've mentioned it in other videos, but no one really seems to notice unless you expressly, make an announcement about it. So, yeah, that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed having some fucking thing to listen to. And, yeah, I'll post more videos later. Thanks for following me. Thanks for subscribing and liking my stuff, and hope it helped. All right, see you guys later. Oh God, it's still recording. Oh no, how do I make it stop? Oh God. Oh Jesus God.